Hi everyone, welcome to the Buckaloo View YouTube channel. My name is Liesl. I am a knitter, sewer, natural dyer, and spinner, and today I'm doing a little instructional video for a particular stitch that is used in my most recent knitting pattern. This is the Whissell Hat. There you can see it fully. It is a cabled beanie with a nice thick lovely pom-pom on the top. The cables are created without a cable stitch. They're actually crossed stitches. The stitches are slipped and then brought over. So I want to explain how to do that because some of my testers had never heard of this stitch or never done this. So it saves you a lot of time not having to use a cable needle, and it actually becomes very easy and quick to do and makes this hat go along very quickly. That, in conjunction with the fact that it's a bulky weight yarn, makes this a very quick knit and a very fun knit to get ready for the upcoming fall and winter and colder weather. This yarn in particular was dyed with quebracho. So yeah, I'm going to explain how to do the left leaning cross and the right leaning cross here in this video. Okay, so here I've set up a new hat that I'm working on, a new Whissell hat, and I've done a couple of the cross stitches here, and I'm going to do a few more to show you exactly how they're done. This stitch, I'm calling it LC3 or RC3, and it's left cross 3 or right cross 3. Sometimes they use front or back, like FC, whatever stitch count. I couldn't find the exact name of this stitch. I just kind of made it up here in this pattern when I was working it. So I don't know if that's the proper technical term, but that's the one I came up with. I've seen other ones that are like 4-stitch, that comprise of 4 stitches, and I've seen them kind of written that way, so I just went ahead with LC3 and RC3. But it's also can be used like front and back, so I'll explain that in a little bit here. So it's the number is in there. It's 3 stitches, and it really helps to visualize, if you've ever used a cable needle, to visualize that you're using a cable needle here. This first stitch is a slip stitch. It was slipped over the last couple rows. Kind of helps make it elongated. And then there's 2 other stitches here. So these 3, there we go. These 3 stitches are the ones I'll be working with. To do a left leaning cross, 3-stitch crossed cable thingamajig here, what you want to do is imagine that if you were using a cable needle, you would take this first stitch here and put it on a cable needle and hang it in the front. This would also be an FC3, a front cross 3-stitch thing there. So imagine that this is on a cable needle in the front. So to be able to work the next stitches as if this were on a cable needle and hanging down here, you would have to kind of bypass it. So you want to leave it on your left needle, and with your working needle you want to knit into the back loop of the 2nd stitch and then the 3rd stitch without taking any of those stitches off the needle. See, now those 2 stitches that were over here are now over here. Now to work this stitch that would theoretically be on a cable needle but is still on this needle here, you want to bring your working needle back to the front and then knit into that stitch as if you were knitting into it off of a cable needle. Go ahead and slip that first stitch off as well as the other 2 stitches. And you can see it creates a left leaning cable. So there's another one there. I'm going to do another one real quick and show you again how that works. Let me get my stitches over to where I need to be. Once again, to do a left cross 3-stitch is to knit into the back loop of the 2nd stitch on the left needle without taking any of the stitches off the left needle. Go into the back loop of the 3rd stitch on the left needle, knit that. They're over here now. Now bring your right needle back to the front and knit into the 1st stitch. slip that off, as well as the other 2 stitches. It needs a little finagling there to be looking good. So yeah, it works a lot. I think it works a lot quicker to do that than use a cable needle, because you always have to slip it on there, slip it off, put it back. You have a cable needle, you're fiddling around with it and everything. So yeah, I found this is a lot easier. It goes a lot quicker. It's a little awkward right now because I'm trying to do this in front of the camera, but once you get the hang of it, it becomes very quick. So yeah, that is the left cross 3, which is in the Whissell Hat pattern. I'll show you guys here how to do the right cross 3. Okay, I've caught myself up a few rows in the pattern, so I'm at the point where I will be doing the right cross stitches and the RC3 that's in the Whissell pattern. I did want to note really quickly about the left one. Since you're knitting the second 2 stitches, the second and third stitch through the back loop, they are twisted, but it doesn't really matter because to me, like if you look at it here, you can see that this stitch, the elongated one that crosses over, kind of hides the fact that they're twisted, so you don't even see that. So that is one way that it differs from using a cable needle. Those two stitches there do get twisted, but I think it's worth it in the end because you don't have to bother with fiddling around with the cable needle. So here I am, I'm all set up and ready to, oh wait, no I'm not. Quick, do 2 more. All right, now I'm all set up and ready to do the RC3, which comprises of 3 stitches, just like the left one. Same way, it's the elongated stitch that crosses over is now on the left side. It is the 3rd stitch in this sequence here. And to pull this over and have it crossing right, it's a lot like as if you were using a cable, once again, like using a cable needle. If you were doing this with a cable needle, you would put these 2 stitches and they would be held in the back of your work. So this would also be like a back cross 3, if you wanted to call it that way. So this 3rd stitch here will end up slipping over. So if you imagine these 2 stitches are in the back on a cable needle, you would be working into this stitch here. So we're going to pretend these 2 stitches here are in the back doing their own little thing. Sometimes I need to pull it out so I can grab this stitch a little bit easier. But you want to knit the 3rd stitch here, the elongated one that gets crossed over. So I've knit that. Nothing comes off the needles yet. And then you go and knit the 1st stitch and slip it off the needles. And then the 2nd stitch and slip that off the needles, as well as the 3rd stitch. That pulls everything off. We do a couple of purls, then you can see it easier. It's weird having a camera in front of you here like this, so it's a little finicky, unusual. Alright, so here you can see the right leaning cross stitch. So you have a left one and a right one. Eventually these will create that kind of cable-y look of in and out. So yeah, I'll do that right cross stitch again to show you guys what that was once again. So you want to knit into the 3rd stitch here on your needle. Nothing comes off the needles yet. And then you knit the 1st stitch, 2nd stitch, and slip everything off the needles. I'm going to do a couple of purls again because it's not very neat here. I'm holding my arms out at a distance, so it's kind of weird. I'm not exactly that neat here. Alright, so yeah, but you get the idea that it creates these crossed stitches, all without a cable needle. So once you get the hang of that, you can just breeze on through this pattern. And like I said, it's a bulky weight. You can see it's a nice thick yarn. So it goes really quickly and it creates that chunky texture of a cable that you usually have to use a cable needle to get. So yeah, that is the RC3 and the LC3 that is used in the Whissell Hat pattern that is out now. You can get it in my Ravelry shop or my shop at buckalooView.com. So yeah, I would love to see the hats that you knit. If you have any questions about these stitch patterns, if they're still confusing or anything, please contact me and let me know, and I would be happy to walk you through it and help you out the best that I can. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope you end up making a Whissell hat. Have a great day.